Good afternoon. I'm Victoria. I was just taking care of a little technology so we can communicate. So I've got that taken care of. I'm Victoria from Old to Ooh La La in Las Vegas, Nevada, of all places. It's beautiful here today. It's like 85. You are watching Old to Ooh La La with IOD. So we're going to get started right away because we have a lot to cover. I like to do lots and lots of stuff. The harder, the better is my motto. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Maya. So we're going to get started. What I'm going to do is hi, Linda. Hi, Nancy. Oh, Nancy, we're going to do some old relic-y stuff today. Hi, Elise. Hi, Joanne. Oh, I see lots of ladybugs here. That makes me happy. All right, I'm going to angle you down and pull you right down here next to me, and we're going to get started. Here we go. Give me a second to get everything lined up. I think that's a pretty nice, hi, Catherine. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Lori from Canada. I think that's a pretty nice setup, except you can see my microphone, which you don't need to see that. Big fuzzy thing. See if I can get that out of the way. Oh, well. It's just going to be there, you guys. Technical difficulties. Oh, come on. Oh, the big fuzzy thing up in the... Well, you know what? It is what it is. It doesn't really interfere with the picture so much, so let's not worry about it. What do you say? Okay, so hi, Petra and Barbara and Deborah and Angela. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Judy. So here's our deal today, you guys. I've been making what I call Ooh La La Petites, and they are little 6x8 like story blocks. There's someone who makes them that's very famous, and so they're inspired by that. So I've made, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them so far. Hi, Kimberly, you made it. And I really like them. They're lots of fun. You can just do so much with them. So here's what we're going to do. I've started by rolling out some iron orchid clay. And I've rolled it out between 2 pieces of plastic, just like a pie crust, just like you would roll out a pie crust. And after, as I was rolling it, I was taking my panel and seeing, how much I needed to roll. And I'm not doing it on camera because it takes a bit of time, and I didn't want to waste time rolling out dough. Everybody knows how to do that. So after I was done with that, I kind of laid it on top and just kind of bent the edges down so I could see where I needed to trim it, okay? So that's where I'm going to trim it. I'm going to set this over to the side. I'm going to open this up. And listen, I did this several days ago, and I just put it flat in my freezer and took it out about 20 minutes ago, and it's the perfect consistency. And what you get is you get all this wrinkly goodness, which you're going to love on the other end of this. So now I'm just going to take my, literally a steak knife from the kitchen, and I'm just going to trim. I'm not worried about being too super precise here. I'm just going to trim that overhang a bit. Oh, I've already done it wrong. Never mind. All right, let's recut that top part there, because I shouldn't have cut that so short. It was a little short, but no worries. No worries. There's no mistakes. Okay, that's what I should have done in the first place, was laid the thing on there. All right. So then I'm just going to pull away what I've deemed unnecessary. Okay, just like this, like a pie crust. Okay, so now I've got a pretty square piece with really cool, I'm going to hold this up to the camera, really cool lines in it, which will serve us well on the other end of this project. And things like this crack and stuff, embrace that. You're going to love that. That's the good stuff. So this doesn't have to be like a perfectly rolled out situation. It can be rough around the edges. So after I've done that, what I wanted to do was add some interest to the clay itself. So I got one of my stamps. This is a piece from Queen Bee. And I took regular cornstarch from the kitchen with a fluffy brush. And I just kind of gave the, you can wash this right off. It's not even a big deal. It just makes a nicer impression. It won't stick, you know. Just kind of dust that like that, okay? Tap off the excess. Now, there was some forethought to this, because what I'm going to do on the other end of this is I'm going to be using some transfers to put on my story block, my Ooh La La Petite. So I kind of laid out the transfers that I'm going to use just so I know where to make my impression, okay? I like to plan things out. So I see that I can get a nice impression here that will show, and I'm not worried about getting the whole thing on. Not even worried about that. And then I could get some nice little impression work up here. So that's what I'm going to do. Those are the two places that I'm going to make my impression. And it's literally just like this. Press that in. You'll feel it kind of get even with the clay, if that makes sense. And because we've put some nice cornstarch on it, it's going to pull out really, really nice. And then I also am just making a little, I'm pretty sure that's upside down. And then I'm just going to make another little one up here, just to bring, I like lots of layers. If you follow me on my page, you know that layers are my middle name. Actually, Harlequin's my middle name. But I like layers a lot too. So there, so now I've got two nice impressions, okay? Now, at this point of the project, you're going to want to let this clay dry. And by dry, I mean like overnight dry, okay? You can hit it with a blow dryer and get it to dry some. You know, if you're really in a hurry, I like to let mine dry overnight because then it's dry, because you want dry. So we're going to let this dry. Not really. I'm going to put it back because I don't need it. So I'm just going to actually kind of roll this up so it stays nice and wet. I might keep it for another project. Right now I'm just going to roll that up so it stays wet. I'm not sure I want that to dry just yet. And what we're going to do, you're going to suspend reality for a minute, and we're going to pretend like this is that dried piece of clay, okay? It doesn't have the impressions on it, but we're going to pretend that this is that dried piece of clay. And now what I've done with this dried piece of clay is I've taken a kind of off beige paint, and I've given it a coat of paint. Then I've given it a coat of crackle medium, and now with my paint there, I'm going to give it a brush of off-white, off-white paint. And what we want is crackle. That's what we want. We want crackle because we like to work in layers, right? So I've got this paint. Now, when you're working with a crackle medium, you could also use your crackle stamp, but every once in a while I go old school and use crackle medium. If you're working with crackle medium, you can't do this. You cannot do this back and forth, which is generally kind of what we do. What we do when we paint, we go back and forth. You can't do that with crackle medium. Catherine likes my paint bear. Isn't he sweet? So with crackle medium, what you have to do is you have to go in one direction. You have to make sure that your brush is fairly loaded with paint because you don't want to run out of paint. And you cannot go over the paint that you've already laid down because it will lift right back up and you'll be very unhappy about that, okay? So I'm going to start here. I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to go with it just like that. I'm not worried about complete coverage, okay? I don't even want complete coverage because it's going to crack and show through anyway. So there's no sense in worrying about that, okay? That's literally it. That's what I'm doing. Now, again, remember we're working on that dried piece of clay. Now, as I dry this, you'll see this, it will begin to crack. So now I've got this amazing piece of clay, dried clay. It's nice and hard. And now I've got some crack. And the reason that we did the just slightly darker color underneath is so our crackle underneath would be darker. Make sense? So there's that part. Now, remember, this is serving as our piece of dried clay. Now I come back in because I want more layers. Got to have more layers. Got to have at least 4 or 5 layers, you guys, as far as I'm concerned. So now what I want to do is I want to give it a little bit of harlequin, okay? Again, bearing in mind where my lemons are going to go, and here's why that's important to me. On some of the transfers, you're not going to see anything behind them, but what I have noticed with lemon, because it's kind of light, if I put dark harlequin behind this lemon, that harlequin's going to show. So what I'll do is, very carefully, I've taken the white backing off of this, and I know I'm going to, I'll just do little light kind of pencil tick marks, just real light around the actual lemon itself, okay? Just, and this is a little bit wet, so I'm really playing with fire. Just so, I don't know if you can even see them. I just got little pencil marks there, okay? But they'll be covered, so I'm not really worried about that, okay? Sarah, the Harlequin stencil I found on Facebook. Not Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I found on Amazon. So I'll hook you up, girl. Okay, so I don't want to put the black stenciling up in here because I don't want it to show behind my lemons. So now I'm going to take a stencil brush. I'm going to take a little bit of black paint. I'm going to load my stencil brush pretty good. I'm going to offload my stencil brush because I want it really dry. I just want a whisper, literally a whisper of harlequin. Okay, so now I know I'm not going up in here because I don't want it to show behind my lemons. So bearing that in mind. See, I can see the pencil ticks through here. I'm going to concentrate on this area. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. And I'm not worried about this being, I don't want it dark. I want like a whisper of Harlequin, so it looks faded already, and that way you don't have to spend time fading it out, you know, like sanding it to make it look. So this is just like super, super quick. It's very, let me hold it this way. It's very light. Very, very light. Again, I'm working on that dried piece of clay. And now I've got just some interest there. It's very light. Very light. So now I've got some crackle. I've got some Harlequin. That makes me super happy. Okay, now let's say this is all dried and this is our big piece of clay. If you wanted to, and this is like a great tip. I use a lot of pencil tick marks because I like to really plan things out. Because I don't like to put things down that are going to be covered by other things. So I really take the time to plan things out. When you use pencil tick marks, if you use that little red eraser that comes on the end of a pencil, chances are you're going to get a red streak on your piece. No bueno. These little white erasers are like 39 cents at Michael's, whatever. Get yourself 1 or 2 of them. I love this thing. It never leaves any traces behind. It erases perfectly. It doesn't leave. Now look, that rubbed off some of my paint. Do I care? Nope. I like it. So this just, now if this was bone dry, that would not be happening. But this is just a practice thing. Okay, so let's pretend that this was our piece of dried clay. Okay, now we would have to break it. And because I'm into breaking clay right now, that's my new thing. So if this was here, I personally would want my clay to break right across this lemon, okay? And then probably down here. So I'm bearing that in mind when I break my clay. Now I'm going to show you everything put together. So when you do a live like this and you're on time constraints, it's hard to show every part, but I do my best to show you how we get to where we're going, if that makes sense. So this is what that piece looks like. This is the clay piece, dried and broken. I've broken it in 2 pieces. It's been painted with that darker beige. I did the crackle finish. Then I did a coat of the light paint to get the crackle to come out. I did the Harlequin. This is the impression that we did. This is a label that I made. It's a first gen label. We'll talk about that in a minute. I also cracked it. I then sealed the entire piece. Then I antiqued it. So that's where this starts to pop and this starts to pop. And I make sure that I got antiquing gel down in here. And that's where this gets all nice and dark and relic-y looking. And if you can see at the bottom, your clay, when it dries, it kind of curls up and buckles up and stuff. Embrace that. That's really cool. And when you're gluing and I even did the sides with some Harlequin. And when you're gluing this clay down, and I use Aleene's glue, which works perfectly fine for me. I use something called Crafter's Pick, which also works perfectly fine for me. And also, I think it's called Tight Bond or something. A lot of people use that, and that works perfectly well for them. Frida can hardly breathe. She's so excited about this project. Girl, I'm pretty excited too. it's hard not to finish these things, you know. I want to finish them, but I got to wait and do it with y'all. So when you begin to lay down this clay, you got to press hard. Like, you got to stand up and really press, and it's going to crack in other little places. Like, I got cracks all around the edges and stuff. That's great. Embrace that and just really, really press down. Now, when I have these labels that I make, there's 2 old first generation label molds. They're very difficult to find, and I'm sorry to tease you, but I love them for these purposes, so I use them a lot. So I take and I imprint little letters, little teeny tiny stamp letters, and just imprint them. So this one says Citron, which is French for lemon, okay? Someone's asking me what antiquing gel I use. I use Valspar antiquing gel. You have to seal with a water-based polyacrylic first. You have to seal it first. And then you put this on, and then this will wipe back. Okay, so the everything has been sealed at this point, okay? And the reason that it has to be sealed is because I'm going to put my transfers on it, and transfers stick best when they've been sealed. So we're going to apply our transfers now, and then we're going to antique this together, just to give you a quick little 101 on antiquing, because I love it so. I do a lot of antiquing, well, practically everything. So I've already kind of thought this out where I want everything. So I have to be aware that this one has to go down first, because I want it to be behind this one. So I very carefully, because this can be tricky, I very carefully kind of lay these out like this. And as you can see, because I measured where these are going to go, there's nothing dark behind my lemons. See, because I've measured. See right here? That goes right down to it, and there's nothing dark behind my lemons. So a little bit of planning on the front end will get you a really cool result on the back end. So this, I'm going to kind of move over this way. And right now I'm just kind of positioning these. So I'm going to rub this little 2 lemon situation down first. So it's going to be that and that. And then I have a big blossom that I'm going to put right here to kind of pull everything together and hide what's going on back there. So yes, that's what I'm going to do right now. And these, very, very quick on these. And the lemon transfer is just so lovely. And of course, yellow with black is beautiful. So when I was putting this together, I thought, ooh, let's use that lemon drop transfer. I haven't used it in a while, so it seemed like the thing to do. Okay, that's good. So now I know this one's going to go down first. So I'll just start rubbing. This is all super dry. It's hard as a rock, okay? So I'm just going to rub, rub, rub. I like to kind of get it started. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of lift up the paper. So, so you can see where it kind of goes opaque, where it's been rubbed on. And then I lift the paper up so I know where it's attached and where it isn't. And then I just rub, and then I can lift this while I'm rubbing, and I know that I'm not, you know, just rubbing endlessly on a part that's already adhered. So there's that part. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm gonna burnish it while I'm here, which just means that I'm just making sure that everything is down. all the edges. I want everything to be really, really down there. Okay. Now I got my big guy here, which is going to go here. I want him to go right to the top. Yes, that makes sense to me. I'm excited to see what happens when I go across this crack. I've never done that before, so it could be a major fail, or it could be, oh my gosh, look at that. That looks amazing. So we're going to find out together, because I'm anxious to see. I don't know how it's going to turn out. My hope is that right across here is a big dark crack across that lemon. That's my hope, but you know, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. I hope it works. Cross your fingers. All right, let's see where we're at here. Kind of want to lift this so I'm not rubbing endlessly on things that don't need to be rubbed anymore. There's Mara. Hi, Mara. I'm going to see Mara on Friday, you guys. I'm very excited about that. So I'm just rubbing. These go pretty quickly. Whoa. Okay. Oh, and of course green and beige and black are like, that's my color combo. It's my love language. Okay. All right. Ooh, look how scary that is. See that big crack across that lemon? I don't know what's going to happen, because what I'm planning on doing is cutting through that and folding those edges back so the darkness underneath shows through. That's my plan. And I'm kind of scared because I don't know what's going to happen, you guys. I don't know if it's going to work the way I want it to. So we'll just see. Kind of working without a net here. Okay. So I'm taking a deep breath because this is a little bit scary to me. Let's put this on and then we'll deal with this. Because I think, yeah, see, this is gonna, let's do this like, and thought this one through, you guys. I think right there is good. Yeah. Right. And you can layer transfers over transfers. Very, very doable. Okay. We're almost done with this. I got a little thing in the pit of my stomach, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I hope it works. I just want to lift this so I can make sure that I'm getting this properly adhered. Okay. Oh yeah, that placement is fabulous. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So now I'm just going to do this thing here where I'm going to burnish. I'm actually procrastinating opening that up because I got to tell you, that scares me. I don't know what's going to happen. I do not know what's going to happen with that, you guys. I got a little piece of, I don't know where this yellow came from. It's part of the transfer, and it's right down here. Odd. I don't know where that came from. I'm also going to take and rough these up just a hair with some sandpaper so they're not so pristine looking. I've got a little piece of transfer that keeps adhering in places I don't want it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to do it. I'm going to open this up. I don't even know what the best way to do that is. I'm going to start up here, and I'm just going to do that. Oh, yeah. Anybody else nervous? I'm really nervous. So then I think what I'll do is I'll take and I'll go like that. Yes, that's what I wanted. Oh, you guys, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I didn't know if it would work or not. And really what I want to do is I want to get, I don't know if you can see, I want to get all of that transfer off of there. So I don't know. I think like the best thing to do might be just to kind of go in and just kind of take my little knife and, or I might even do it with sandpaper. I might even take a little piece of sandpaper and go down in there. Let's try that real quick because we got some time. Let's try that and see if that works. Where's my sandpaper? Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to take a little sandpaper and I'm going to do it like that. And I'm going to lay it down just right up here. And I'm going to go back and forth and see if I can't get those sides to kind of come off. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the ticket. Yes, 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 yes. You guys, I'm so happy. I'm very happy about this. So I'm just, that crack is quite deep, and I'm just going and I'm sanding the transfer off so there's not like pieces hanging down. I want that to be rough and, you know, relic-y looking, if that's a word. Is relic-y a word? So I've got some paper down in there. Yeah, that's what I was going for. I'm super happy about that. So now I'm going to take, and I'm just going to take soft sandpaper. What is it? It's 320. And I go in one direction across my my transfer, just to kind of open it up a little bit and make it not quite so pristine. So if you can see between this leaf and this leaf, so one leaf I've distressed and one leaf I have not, and this is more in keeping with the overall look of the board. Oh yeah, Dina, an emery board would work. Ah, that would work. And I have little tiny emery boards too. Look. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Dina. 2 heads are better than 1. Yes, that actually does work better, sweetie. Thank you so much. Saved by a ladybug. Thanks, Dina. Okay, yeah. So I'll work on that off camera because that's going to take some fine motor skills, okay? So now I'm just going to, and I always distress in just one direction. I don't want to take off too much, so I want to have lots of control. If you go back and forth, you can, you know, you can get in trouble. You can't put it back. So I'm just going down in one direction just to kind of get this to all look kind of like it's been around for a while is my goal. Oh boy, is that ever pretty. So pretty. So pretty. Yeah, I'm super happy about that. I'll get a great picture of this, you guys, and post it because, yeah, it's gonna, there's lots to see here. And I don't know that you get a lot of, I don't know if you get to see, you know, the bulk of it when, so now let's talk about some antiquing, okay? Here, I'll turn it this way so y'all can see it for a little minute while I talk about antiquing. So antiquing gel, of course, you have to seal it first. Please seal with a water-based acrylic, polyacrylic sealer before you try to antique. Or in essence, you're painting your piece brown and you'll be very unhappy. It needs that layer of polyacrylic between the paint and the antiquing gel for the gel to slide around, because ideally you're putting it on and then you're taking most of it back off. Okay, so it's got to be able to slide. And paint is so porous, if you put that on there without sealing it, it would just suck the brown up and you'd be painting your piece brown. Ask me how I know that. I've done that before. Painted things brown and had to start all over. So when I antique, I generally just work right out of my cap. I take a nice soft brush. I like working with soft brushes. I put a little bit of antiquing gel on it, and then I come to my cap and I work it into my brush. Okay, so now I've got a loaded brush with antiquing gel on it. I take a paper towel, I take my continuous mister, and I get this damp. It's not sopping wet, it's just damp, okay? Now, this is the part that'll make you squirm if you've not done this before. This is all sealed, so nobody panic. I'm going to take and I'm going to start applying this all around the edges. My desire is to make sure every single piece of white clay is covered with this antiquing gel. So I've got to make sure that I see it from all angles. Pick it up, look at it, make sure you get it from all angles. Sometimes I'll do a little scrubby motion here to get it all down inside there. This stuff stays open for a while, so you have some time, you know. If you want to take a little small piece at a time to do on it, absolutely do that, you know, if you're not super confident. The first thing I do is pounce. I go over it and pounce. Okay, so I'm taking off quite a bit of it. Then I take, excuse me, and I will push all of that gel into the edges. I don't want to wipe that off. I want to push it into the edges because in nature, things are going to darken around the edges. Okay, so that's step 2. So you've pounced and then you've pushed all the gel into the edges. Now you want to take a part of your paper towel that's clean. That's a nice clean part. You might want to give it another quick spritz. And now I'm going to gently wipe back. And my goal is to take the gel off of the high points. Okay, so here we go. I'm just taking the gel off of the high points. This needs to be a little bit more wet. I'm going to come and do this just off the high points. Now we'll do the little letters together because that's kind of magical. So there's my citron. I come across and pull that. And see, all of the gel stays down in those little tiny divots that those little letter stamps have made. Oh, you guys, this is so pretty. So now I'm going to go back and just kind of, you know, match tones. I want everything to kind of match. Maybe do this. Now I am going to pull some of this antiquing gel up onto my lemons, but I have to seal them first. Okay, so that's something that I'll have to do off camera. I don't believe we're going to have time for this today, but when I post the picture of it, you'll see that these lemons have also kind of softened and taken on the tone of this lovely patina here, this lovely background. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this little part, you guys. Thank you, Dina, for suggesting the emery board. That was absolutely what I needed to use. And that's just exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that dark crack back there, and I'll dig all of that transfer out of there. So that looks pretty much exactly like I'd hoped it would. I'm very happy about it. Yeah, okay. I think that's it, you guys. I'm just gonna clean up and lighten up a little bit around here. So you can go back in, and you can also reapply the antiquing gel if it's gotten too light and you think, oh, I need more. Apply more and wipe back again. You've got time to play with that gel. I like to make sure that all of my like to make sure that they match, like on both sides, like the tone of things matches on both sides. So there it is. That's it. That is it. Aletta's asking me how I got the big crack. Well, Alette, that's at the very front. Excuse my big hand. That's at the okay, hold on. That's at the very front of the video. Yes, this Kathleen's asking me lots of questions. The back side will be finished. Okay, look, this is how I finish the back side of my Ooh La La Petites. I finish them like this. I sign them and I date them and I number them. Okay, so the backs of these are all, like these are Ooh La La Petites. They're all finished. I haven't put the crown and signed this one yet, but the sides are all done and the backs are all finished nicely. So that's what I'll do on this. I'll finish the back of it. So, yes, Marcia, there'll be a list of everything that I've used. There's our piece. We did some clay cracking. We did some painting. We did some crackle medium. We used some transfers. We did some impressions with stamps. So it really sings, it really speaks to me. It's just what I envisioned in my little peanut brain. So I'm pretty happy about that. I like when that turns out. So that's it for today, you guys. That worked out really well. So the products that I used today, you can certainly pick up from your local retailer. Or you can order online. A lot of people have online stores. I will put a link in the comments so you can find a local stockist or an online stockist. I will also put a link in the comments to my Facebook page, which is Ulta Ooh La La. And if you've enjoyed your time with me here today, perhaps you'll come and join my page. I do a lot of lives over there, and go down lots of rabbit holes. I like to do challenging things that are, yeah. So that's it. Another little look. I'm going to finish this off camera and take a real pretty picture of it, which I will post. And I think that's it for me today, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Let me make sure that I've covered everything that I'm supposed to cover. Yeah, that's it. All right, you guys. Oh, good. Kimberly's definitely making this one. Awesome. Reach out if you need any help, girl. Okay, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you in a month when I'll be back on IOD TV. Bye.